This is an exciting activity. We are going to get data from this. It's one website, Our World in Data. I'll show you how to extract data from this site. The site contains a lot of data. So once you know how to do it, you can get as much data concerning environmental and social issues. So it's a really exciting website to explore. I've already opened all of them, but I'll show you the data we can extract and then plot to be able to do our analysis. So without wasting time, let's come here. You'll find that the first one is about fishing and overfishing. So if you open it, you should get there. The second one should take you here, and the last one should take you here. So we'll first do the fish and overfishing. If you scroll down, you have different places. For example, here you see aquaculture production, and here you have 5 centuries of cod catches in eastern Canada. And if you go down, you'll find other things, but we just want to focus here to see how it collapsed because of overfishing. So we are going to extract this data. Now, you have to be very careful here, because if you come and click here, you can see it's under chart. If you download the chart, you will have problems. So do not download when it's like this. You want to make sure you click where you have table. At times students call and say it's not working, blah blah blah. No, it's very important for you to make sure you only click where there is table, and then you hit the download button. Once you do that, it's going to download your data. It's going to download it as a CSV file, and it will drop it in your download folder. So I'm going to click here and download the file. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'll talk about land use after we analyze it. So what you want to do is to open a blank Excel workbook in order to be able to import that data. We will go through Power Query so that we can clean it. So I'll go to data. I'll get the file. It's a CSV file. So I'll go and get that file. It's in my download folder, and I'll play with it. So this is the file. It has been dropped in my download folder. I'll click on it. I'll hit import, and it will launch Power Query. I want to click on transform data. Once I get to transform data, I can check to make sure it's in the right format. There's not much to do here. Now I want to make sure here we have whole number under year. This yeah, I think we can just leave it as it is. Here there is a code. I don't want this, so I can just hit delete, or I can right click and take remove. I don't want that column. It's of no use. Here we have Eastern Canada. If you click here, you will see that everything is just Eastern Canada. So it's really of no use to us. So I can click here and also remove it. So here I have the year, and I have Northern Atlantic cod catch. We know it's in Eastern Canada, and that's all. There's nothing more to be done. All I need to do is to go to make sure you're under home, close and load to, and then make sure it's stable, then we okay. That's all. Once we have it here, we can pivot it. Click anywhere inside, go to insert, pivot, from table, range, okay. And we want here to be where we have rows, and we want the Northern Atlantic cod to be where we have values, and you want to click here. You don't want the mean, okay? You don't want the sum. Here it says sum. You want to click on it, value field setting, take average, okay, and here you have the average per year. It really doesn't matter because it's only one value per year, so there shouldn't be any change per se. Okay, now we want to generate a chart to see how it changed across time. So all you need to do is just go to your pivot table, analyze, make sure this is active. go to pivot chart, and you want to use the line chart. Okay, and you see it's very similar to the graph you have there. Okay, so that's a bit what's happening. If you want to really see what was going on here, you can basically add, you can just go to pivot chart. Let me see, pivot chart analyze. You take a slicer and you take by year, you okay, and here you can move it there and then just choose. Let me scroll all the way here, click on this, hold down my control key, command for Mac, and then select everything here and just see what's there. Okay, I can even increase. Let me put it here and try to increase the size so that I can choose more. Yes, hold down control again and just take a bit more so that you can see, given that the fishery collapsed, how is the state since 2001? And see, okay, it collapsed completely, now it's going up again. Now you can understand, it's interesting to know, why did it collapse, why is it going up again? Now I'll click here on this check, it says clear filter, and then we can have everything. So you can see what happened when it collapsed completely. If you put your thing here, you can see it's telling you it's around, you can see the approximate date when it completely collapsed. Okay, so that's it for the first one. You can double click here and give it fisheries so that you don't get mixed up. Now we will go back to the web page and we'll take land use. Under land use, you just need to scroll down. You have different data sets. We will just stick to this. This is for you to know how to get any data you need from our world in data. Why? Because if you just come and you click here, browse by topic, you see things about health, energy and environment, food and agriculture, all sorts of things that can be of interest to you. You can see the graphs there, but it's important for you to be able to download it, plot it, and be able to use it for any of your research or to show others. So I'll click here. We want to get this data. This is land use over the long term. So it's world from 0 to 2023. You can see everything. We want to download it. If you want, you can try other things, but we will just stick to this. And then we are going to download it and then take it into Excel. So same thing. You make sure you come here, you click where you have table. And once you do that, you go to download, you click on download. And you come, you click here. Once you have that, you go back to Microsoft Excel. Here you go back to sheet 1 where there is nothing. You go to data, get data from file, it's a CSV, and you want to go to your download folder, and here I have land use over long term. I'll import it. And then I'll go to transform, just to clean up the data in Power Query. Now, once I'm there, I see the different countries. Do I truly want all the countries of the world? No, I just want to choose the G7 countries, just the G7 countries, and basically see what happens with the G7 countries with respect to cropland and all of those things. Okay, so we don't even know if the G7 countries, if at that time you had people living in it or whatever was happening. So it's an interesting search, because if you go back to the website, let me just click here to get rid of that and go back to the chart. You can see now, do you think you had all of this happening in the G7 countries? It's an interesting question for you to investigate right now. So we'll take the G7 countries, or we can just take it by regions of the world. For example, here you see Africa, you can take Asia. So maybe let's rather do the continent. So Africa is here. We can take continents and then throw in a couple of countries to see what's happening. So I'll throw in Australia. Let's scroll down and see Europe. What do we have? Okay, South America. Okay, I guess they just use the world, so we will use the world. Else I let you play around with things, so I'll just come here, I'll uncheck everything, and I'll go down. I'll just take the world. Okay, that is much easier. I don't need any code, so I'll click here, right click, and remove that. I'm using the world. Here you can see they went from minus and then 0, so we'll just leave it. We won't mess up with this. Cropland, grazing, and all of that. We will leave everything as it is. That's fine for me. So what we can just do, because we want to plot the world by all of that. Okay, so I'll just double click here and say region. It's easier like that. I'll get rid of the cropland and I'll get rid of land use and just leave cropland. Get rid of land use, leave grazing, double click, get rid of that. So for me to do that, I just double click on it and it changes. Okay, now here we go. We go to close and load to. We want it to be table, we okay, and then here we have another one added. Just make sure you are inside. Go to insert, pivot table, from table range, okay, and here we can double click here and give it land use, hit enter, and now I can pivot things. So we want to put here where we have row, we want to put cropland where we have values. No, we'll put it where we have column, where we have, I don't think that will make any sense. We should put cropland where we have values, put grazing where we have values, and put built-in where we have that. And then region, we can put it where we have, we don't even care, because there's only one region, it's the world, so we can leave it as it is. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. If you want, you can change this into average so that it's not sum, but I don't think it really changes anything per se. Okay, so we will go to pivot table and let's see area. Okay, let's take a look at this. So it's similar to what they have there. However, you can see that they started somewhere there, and you can see when things completely changed. Now here I can tell you they just did a better job with their scale. Okay, their scale is much better. The scale we have here is not the best scale, so they did a much better job with their scale. Let me see. If we drag it all the way, it looks like this. So they did a better job playing with this thing. So if we come here, basically, yeah, you can see, let's see if we can do a slight adjustment. the built-in area, maybe we want to put it here at the beginning. Okay, built-in area, I'll move it, I'll click, hold, drag it and put it as the first place. Then the second one, okay, so you see it right here. If we want, we can change that color. If we don't like the color, we can change it. But here you see the built-in area, you have the other you have cropland and you have grazing. Okay, so actually I'll put cropland at it right there. So here we have grazing, cropland. Now you can clearly see that most land area, actually let me put belt in here between those two. Okay, so now you can see most of the land is used for grazing, and it exploded somewhere here. So it's as if with the Industrial Revolution something happened. There was an explosion of rearing of animals or things like that, and you can see there was also an explosion in the amount of crop, and you can see it's still going up. So of course it's proportional to the number of people living on the planet Earth, but this is interesting to see. So that's it for that particular one. So let's now take a look at the last one, which is CO2 and greenhouse gases. So CO2 is, by the way, a greenhouse, but it's special category. So we want to basically just look at the greenhouse gases. So let's come down, let's scroll all the way. Generally you have, so let's take a look here, annual CO2. Okay, if you come here to your left, you'll find the annual greenhouse, because here you have all the different charts which are there. So if you just come here, you can take the annual greenhouse. Which one is this? Okay, I think I'll just click here. Okay, annual greenhouse, and here we have annual greenhouse. So we want to just replicate this chart. Go to table, and then you want to click download, and you know it has downloaded it into your download folder. Go to your Excel workbook, go to data, get data from file, text CSV, and then greenhouse gas by well region, import, transform, just to make sure we have data in the right format. And let's check if we have world here. I'll click this, load more, and we'll scroll all the way here. Where is W? World. Okay, we will uncheck everything, select all, scroll down, take world, and then okay. But you can play with the G7 countries, you can play with other things to really see what's going on. Actually, I think it's interesting to see what's going on in the G7 countries. So I'll uncheck everything and exclusively take the G7 countries. Let me click on load more, and let's see. The first one we generally have is Canada, and then we have France, Germany, let's keep going, Italy, Japan, and then we go all the way down where we have UK and US. US, UK, the G7 countries. I have to uncheck world. Just make sure it's the G7. Oh, okay. Okay, now let's see. Code, I don't need it. Click on it, right click, remove. Yeah, we need it. Here I'll come, double click. I just want annual greenhouse gas. So I'll delete that part, and just put GHG, annual GHG. Hit enter, and that's it. Go to home, close and load to. Make sure we leave it as it is, okay, and there we go. So go to insert, pivot table, okay, and now year under row, annual GHG, put it where you have here, and entity, actually we should have changed this to region. It's okay. Column. So these are the different regions. We don't want the total, so just go to design, and here where you have grand total, take off for rows and column, and now we want to plot it. So make sure you click anywhere inside, pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and lines. Then we can okay, and we can see who is the master of pollution. Okay, I'll put these things under. Let's go to design, add chart element. I'll go for legend. I'll put legend at the bottom, and yeah, there you go. So if you want, you can actually add, you can come here and you add a slicer, and the slicer is by entity, which is origin, so that you can actually play around with them. So let me put it here. Let this go away by shutting that down. If you want to open it, you can click here again on the graph, go to pivot analyze, and you can always, this is fill list, you can get that away or put it on. Okay, voila. So if you want to see US, just US plus UK, you can hold down control and hold both of them just to compare. Oh, now control, hold down Canada to see what's going on. So let's control United Kingdom, so we clearly see what's going on. US, Canada, we can't even compare them in terms of greenhouse gases. So if I clear the selection, you can see that for the G7 countries, man, it's just insane, the levels. Well, at least it seems to be going down, but you can clearly see that it doesn't matter. You can even eliminate all what Canada produces. The volume that's going on here is just insane. I encourage you, throw in China and see which countries are competing in the world. Okay, that's it. So basically the instruction wants you to do something like that. It says describe the trends in your plots, say whatever, blah blah blah. Now it's important, if you just give me your charts without any serious writing, you will not be happy with your grades. So always make sure from now you include some interesting analysis of what you are seeing. Okay, and I think that is it for this video.